You know what they say, don't you? Depression isn't real. Like it's some ghost story they tell to make weak people feel better about their failures. Funny, isn't it? They think it's all in your head, a figment of imagination. But you and I? Oh, we know better. We've seen the abyss, haven't we? Felt its cold hands wrap around our necks. It whispers things, doesn't it? Things no one else hears. And they call it fake. You wake up every morning, if you can even call it that, and it feels like your chest is caving in, like a weight you can't see but can damn well feel. Heavy, suffocating. You try to breathe, but it's like your lungs have forgotten how. And they think you're faking it, like you're putting on some grand performance for their entertainment. But here's the punchline, my friend, the real joke. These people, they're terrified. Terrified of feeling what you feel every second of every day. They dismiss your pain because they can't handle it. If they even caught a glimpse of the storm raging inside you, they'd crumble. You've survived that storm. You're still here, and that's what makes you stronger than any of them. But you don't feel strong, do you? No, you feel broken, beaten, useless. Like every step you take is through quicksand. You ever notice how nobody talks about the silence? That deafening silence that fills your head when you're alone. When the world shuts up and it's just you and your thoughts, clawing, tearing, screaming. That silence is a killer. It's not peaceful. It's chaos in disguise. And you face it every day. They wouldn't last a second. They'll tell you to snap out of it, like you're flipping a switch. They'll shove their empty platitudes down your throat. It gets better. Just be positive. Like they're handing you a damn cure. They don't get it, do they? You can't just switch it off. This thing, this darkness, it's a part of you now. It's woven into your very soul. You don't snap out of it. You learn to live with it. You carry it. Every step, every breath, it's there, weighing you down. But you're still moving. Barely, maybe. But you are. You know why? Because deep down, you're not weak. Oh no, weak people give up. Weak people let it consume them. But you're still fighting, whether you know it or not. Every time you drag yourself out of bed, every time you force a smile, every time you keep going when everything inside you is screaming to stop, that's strength. Real strength. The kind that no one sees. The kind that doesn't get applause. But it's there. And it's yours. And let's talk about pain, shall we? Because that's the root of it, isn't it? Pain. That old familiar friend. It's always there, lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce. But here's the thing about pain. It's a teacher. A brutal, merciless teacher. It shows you who you are, what you're made of. It strips away the lies, the illusions. It's raw, unfiltered truth. And you've learned more from your pain than they'll ever learn in their cushy, comfortable little lives. They'll never understand the nights you've spent staring at the ceiling, the thoughts that eat away at you like acid. They'll never understand what it's like to feel so alone, even in a room full of people. They'll never know the strength it takes to keep going when every fiber of your being is begging you to stop, but you do it anyway. Why? Because you're not done yet. Yeah, you heard me. You're not done. This world, it's beaten you, broken you, tried to bury you. But you're still here. That's what they don't see. They see the scars, the cracks, the wounds, and they think you're weak. But those scars, they're proof that you've survived. Every one of them tells a story of resilience, of endurance. You're not just surviving, you're transforming. Every day, every battle, you're becoming something stronger, something unstoppable. They want to call you broken? Let them. Because broken things, they can't be shattered. You've already been through hell, and you've come out the other side. So, what's a little more fire? They'll say depression isn't real because they've never walked in your shoes. They've never felt the ache in your bones, the weight in your chest, the constant gnawing emptiness. But you have. You've felt it all and more, and you're still standing. You're not weak. You're a warrior, a fighter, a survivor. And one day, when you look back at this, you'll see it for what it was. A test. A brutal, unforgiving test. And you passed. Not because you didn't fall, but because you got back up. Every damn time. So, the next time someone tells you depression isn't real, laugh. Laugh in their face. Because they don't know the half of it. They don't know you, but you do. You know what you've been through, what you've endured. And that's all that matters. Keep going. Keep fighting. Because the world doesn't deserve you, but you damn well deserve to prove it wrong. But let me guess. You've thought about quitting, haven't you? Don't lie to me. I can see it in your eyes. Those nights when the walls felt like they were closing in, and the silence screamed louder than any voice. You thought about ending it. You stared into the abyss, and for a moment, just a fleeting moment, it almost made sense. But here's the thing. They don't tell you about the abyss. When you stare into it long enough, it stares back. It doesn't devour you like some monster under the bed. No, it challenges you. It taunts you. It says, "Is this all you got? Is this where you give up?" And you've answered that question every single day by still being here. You've spat in the face of the darkness that tried to swallow you whole. That's not weakness, my friend. That's defiance. That's power. But let me break it to you. They'll never understand. Those people out there, the ones who call you lazy, call you dramatic, say you're just looking for attention, they'll never understand the courage it takes just to exist. They don't see the war raging inside you, the battles you fight every second of every day. They see you sitting still, but they don't realize the weight you're carrying just to do that. You ever try carrying something heavy for hours, days, weeks? It's exhausting, isn't it? That's what you're doing. Carrying a weight they can't even fathom. And yet, here you are, still dragging it with you, still pushing forward. They'd collapse under that weight in seconds. But you keep going. Step by agonizing step. They call that weakness? No, my friend. That's strength they'll never know. And let me tell you a little secret. You don't need their validation. You don't need their pity, their understanding, their fake sympathy. All those people who tell you to cheer up or just think positive, they don't matter. Their words don't matter. The only thing that matters is you, your fight, your journey. And here's another thing. This pain you're feeling, it's temporary. Yeah, I know. That's the cliche, right? This too shall pass. But I'm not talking about sunshine and rainbows here. I'm not saying you're going to wake up one day and feel magically better. That's not how it works. No, this pain, it changes you. It shapes you. It forges you into something new, something unbreakable. Think of it like this. When a blacksmith wants to make a sword, he doesn't just grab a hunk of metal and call it a day. No, he heats it, bends it, hammers it over and over again. It's violent. It's brutal. But in the end, that piece of metal becomes a weapon. Strong, sharp, deadly. That's you. Right now, you're in the fire. You're being hammered, bent, reshaped. And it hurts like hell, I know. But when it's over, when the fire dies down, you'll emerge as something they can't even begin to comprehend. But let's get real for a second. I know it doesn't feel like it's going to get better. I know there are days when the darkness seems endless. When you feel like you're drowning and no one's throwing you a lifeline. I know what it's like to feel invisible, to scream for help and hear nothing but silence in return. But you don't need their lifeline. You don't need their rescue. You are your own savior. You've already proven that you can survive without them. You've fought this battle alone, and you've won more times than you can count. So stop waiting for someone to come and save you. Stop hoping they'll suddenly understand. They won't. They can't. But you don't need them to. Everything you need is already inside you. Think about it. You've been through hell and back, and yet here you are, breathing, fighting, existing. You've faced the worst that life has to offer, and it hasn't beaten you. Sure, it's knocked you down. It's left you battered and bruised, but you're still here. And as long as you're here, you've got a chance to rise, a chance to rebuild, a chance to prove them all wrong. And that's the key, isn't it? Proving them wrong, showing them that their words mean nothing, that their doubts, their judgments, their ridicule, none of it can touch you. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them an explanation or an apology or a damn thing. The only person you owe anything to is yourself. And what you owe yourself is this: to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep living. Because the truth is, they'll never feel your pain. They'll never understand the weight you carry, the battles you fight, the scars you bear. But that's okay. They don't need to understand. They don't need to feel your pain. Because it's not about them. It's about you. It's always been about you. So stand up. Look in the mirror. See the warrior staring back at you. Not the broken, beaten person they see, but the unbreakable, unstoppable force you've become. And remember this: depression may be a part of you, but it doesn't define you. It doesn't control you. You are more than your pain. You are more than your struggles. You are a survivor, a fighter, a goddamn miracle. And when the day comes, because it will come, when you've risen above it all, when you've turned your pain into power, they'll look at you in awe. They'll wonder how you did it. And you'll smile. Not for them, but for yourself. Because you'll know the truth. The truth they'll never understand. That you are unstoppable. And nothing, not them, not the pain, not even the darkness can change that. And let me tell you something else. They'll call you selfish for feeling like this. Isn't that the kicker? They'll say, how could you feel this way? Don't you see how much you have? They'll list out all the reasons why your pain isn't valid, why you don't have the right to feel what you feel, as if emotions follow logic, as if pain needs their permission to exist. But let's clear this up once and for all. You're not selfish. What's selfish is their ignorance, their refusal to see past their own little worlds. They're so terrified of anything that doesn't fit their perfect picture of life that they'd rather blame you than admit the world is broken. But you're not selfish. You're surviving. You're carrying a weight they can't even imagine. And if they can't see that, if they can't acknowledge your struggle, that's their failure, not yours. But here's the catch. You can't let their blindness define you. You can't let their ignorance hold you back. Because if you do, you're giving them power over you. And they don't deserve that power. They don't deserve to dictate how you see yourself. They don't see the nights you've cried yourself to sleep. They don't see the mornings where just getting out of bed felt like climbing a mountain. They don't see the battles you fight with yourself every single day. They don't see your strength, but you do, or at least you should, because that's what matters. Not what they think, not what they say, what you know. And you know this: you're still here, still breathing, still fighting. And that's worth more than their hollow opinions ever will be. Now, I know what you're thinking. If I'm so strong, why does it still hurt? Why does the darkness still feel so suffocating? Because strength isn't the absence of pain, my friend. Strength is feeling the pain, facing the darkness, and choosing to keep going anyway. Strength is dragging yourself through hell and refusing to let it break you. And you've done that. You're doing it right now. But let me warn you about something. The world isn't going to give you a break. It's not going to suddenly decide to go easy on you because you've had a rough time. No, the world is cruel. It's relentless. It doesn't care about fairness or justice. It will kick you when you're down and laugh while it does. That's the truth. That's the reality. But here's the thing. You don't need the world to be kind. You don't need life to be fair, because you're not here to be coddled. You're here to survive, to fight, to overcome. And when the world tries to crush you, you crush it right back. You take every punch it throws and you throw it back 10 times harder. Because you're not a victim, you're a warrior, a survivor. And survivors don't quit. Look at me. You think I've had it easy? You think the world's been kind to me? No. It's chewed me up and spat me out more times than I can count. It's broken me, beaten me, tried to bury me. But here I am, still standing, still laughing. Because I realized something a long time ago. The world doesn't get to decide who I am. The pain doesn't get to define me. I decide that. Me. And you? You have that same power. It's time to stop waiting for someone to save you. No one's coming. No one's going to pull you out of this. But that's not a bad thing. That's freedom. Because it means you don't have to rely on anyone else. You don't have to wait for their permission to heal, to grow, to rise. You can do it on your own. And when you do, when you come out of this stronger than ever, you won't owe anyone a damn thing. But let's talk about the pain for a moment. Because that's what's really holding you back, isn't it? The fear of the pain, the fear that it'll never end, that it'll consume you. But pain, it's not your enemy. It's a tool, a weapon. You can use it if you know how. Every time you feel it, every time it threatens to overwhelm you, you have a choice. You can let it break you, or you can let it fuel you. Let it remind you of what you're fighting for. Let it push you forward, even when every step feels impossible. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. Pain doesn't last forever. It feels endless. I know. It feels like it's never going to let go. But it will. One day you'll wake up, and it'll be lighter. Maybe just a little. But lighter all the same. And the next day, a little more. And the next. Until one day, you'll look back and realize it's not crushing you anymore. You'll realize you've carried it so far for so long that it's become a part of you. But not in the way it used to be. It won't control you. It won't define you. It'll be your strength, your armor. But that day isn't going to come if you give up. It's not going to come if you let the darkness win. You have to fight for it. You have to claw your way through the pain, through the fear, through the doubt. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, but it's going to be worth it. Because on the other side of this, there's freedom. Freedom from the pain, from the fear, from the doubt. Freedom to live, to thrive, to be the person you were always meant to be. And when you get there, when you finally reach that place, you'll look back at the darkness and realize it didn't defeat you. It made you. It forged you. It turned you into something unstoppable. So don't quit. Don't give up. Don't let them win, because you're stronger than this. Stronger than the pain, stronger than the darkness, stronger than you think. And one day, you'll see it too. You'll see just how powerful you really are. And when you do, the world better watch out. Because there's nothing more dangerous than someone who's walked through hell and come out the other side. And that, my friend, is exactly who you're going to be. You think this pain is here to destroy you? No, it's here to test you, to strip away everything fake, every lie you've told yourself, every mask you've worn. It's not trying to kill you. It's trying to reveal you. Pain doesn't care about comfort, doesn't care about your pride. It drags you down to the raw, ugly core of who you are. And that's where you find the truth, the real truth, not the pretty lies the world feeds you, but the truth about who you are, what you're made of. And let me tell you something, most people, they can't handle that truth. They're too soft, too scared. They hide behind their routines, their distractions, their little comforts. But you've seen the truth, haven't you? Felt it in your bones, burning, cutting, tearing. It's ugly, isn't it? But it's real. It's the only real thing you've ever known. And that makes you dangerous. Because once you've seen the truth, once you've felt the depths of your pain, nothing else can touch you. Nothing else can break you. You think they understand what it's like? To live every day with a weight on your chest that makes breathing feel like a goddamn chore? To look in the mirror and not even recognize the person staring back? To feel so hollow, so empty, that even the things that used to make you happy now feel like ashes in your mouth? They don't understand. They can't. And that's their weakness, not yours. But here's the thing. You can't stay here. You can't live in this darkness forever. It's comfortable, I know. In a twisted way, it's safe, because it's familiar. But it's not where you're meant to stay. This darkness, it's a crucible, a forge. It's where you're being remade. And once you've been forged, once you've been shaped and hardened by this pain, you've got to step out of it. You've got to carry that strength, that power into the world and use it. Because the world needs people like you. People who've been through hell and come out stronger. People who've seen the worst life has to offer and still found a reason to keep going. People who don't just survive, they inspire. They lead. They change everything. But let me make one thing very clear. This isn't going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. There's no magic cure, no quick fix. It's a battle every single day. And some days, you're going to lose. Some days, the darkness is going to win. And that's okay, because every time you get back up, every time you choose to keep fighting, you're winning. You're proving that you're stronger than this, that you're not going to let it beat you. And don't you dare listen to those voices in your head telling you you're not good enough, that you're not strong enough, that you'll never make it. Those voices, they're liars. They're parasites, feeding off your fear, your doubt, your pain. You've got to silence them, shut them up. And the best way to do that? Prove them wrong. Every time they say you can't, show them you can. Every time they say you're weak, show them your strength. Every time they say you're nothing, show them you're everything. And don't think for a second that you're alone in this. I know it feels that way. I know it feels like no one understands, like no one cares. But there are people out there who felt what you feel, who fought the same battles, and they've made it through. They've come out the other side stronger, wiser, better. And if they can do it, so can you. But here's the catch. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to fight your battles, carry your burdens, face your demons. That's on you. And that's a good thing, because it means you don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to wait for anyone's help, anyone's permission, anyone's approval. You can do this on your own. And when you do, when you rise up out of this darkness and show the world what you're made of, it'll all be because of you. They'll look at you and wonder how you did it. They'll try to understand how someone who was so broken, so lost, could become so strong, so unstoppable. And they won't be able to, because they haven't lived your life. They haven't felt your pain. They haven't fought your battles, but you have. And that's what makes you special. That's what makes you unstoppable. So don't give up. Don't let the darkness win. You've got too much left to do. Too much left to become. This pain you're feeling, it's temporary. It's a chapter, not the whole story. And when you look back on it, when you see how far you come, you'll realize it was worth it. Every tear, every scream, every sleepless night, it was all worth it. Because it made you who you are. And who you are, that's someone the world isn't ready for. Someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives. Someone who doesn't just endure, but conquers. Someone who takes their pain, their scars, their broken pieces, and turns them into something beautiful, something powerful, something unbreakable. So rise. Rise out of this darkness. Rise out of this pain. Rise and show the world that you're not just a survivor. You're a warrior, a fighter, a force of nature, and nothing, not the pain, not the fear, not the doubt, can stop you. Because you're stronger than this, stronger than they'll ever know. And one day, you'll look back on this moment, on this pain, and you'll realize it didn't defeat you. It defined you. It made you. And you wouldn't trade it for anything. You want to know what's really funny about all of this? It's not just the world that underestimates you. It's you. You've been living with this constant voice in your head, haven't you? That whisper, always telling you you're not enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. It's been there for so long that you've started to believe it, haven't you? Started to think that maybe the darkness is right, that maybe you're nothing. But here's the truth they don't tell you. The darkness lies. Oh, it's seductive, isn't it? It feels so damn convincing. It wraps itself around you, whispers in your ear, makes you believe every awful thing it says. But it's a liar. It's a con artist. And you've been falling for its tricks. You see that voice in your head? That's not you. That's your fear, your pain, your doubt. It's the part of you that's been beaten down, broken, told over and over again that you're not good enough. But it's not the real you. The real you. Oh, the real you is a monster, a beast, a force of nature that's been locked away, chained up by all the lies you've been fed your whole life. And here's the thing about monsters. They don't stay locked up forever. Sooner or later they break free. Sooner or later they tear through the chains and show the world what they're made of. And you're on the edge of that. You're standing right on the line between the person you think you are and the person you're meant to be. All you have to do is take that step. But that step, oh, it's terrifying, isn't it? Because it means letting go of all the lies you've clung to for so long. It means facing the truth about yourself, about your pain, about your past. It means looking in the mirror and seeing yourself for who you really are. Not who the world says you are, not who the darkness says you are, but who you know you are, deep down. And that truth, it's ugly, it's raw, it's painful, but it's also powerful. Because once you face it, once you own it, there's nothing left to fear, nothing left to hide from. The darkness loses its grip on you because you've turned it into something else, something you can use, something that can't control you anymore. You want to know what happens when you step into that truth? When you stop letting the lies define you and start defining yourself, you become unstoppable. You take every bit of pain, every scar, every piece of brokenness, and you turn it into your armor. Not to hide behind, no, to wear. To show the world that every single piece of you, even the broken ones, are what make you stronger. Because here's the thing about scars. They're not signs of weakness. They're proof of survival. Proof that you've been through hell and back and lived to tell the tale. And every single one of them makes you stronger. Every single one of them is a reminder that you've faced the worst and come out the other side. But you don't see it that way, do you? You look at your scars and see failure. You look at your pain and see weakness. You've been so blinded by the lies that you can't see the truth staring you in the face. So let me spell it out for you. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not less than. You are a survivor, a warrior, a force to be reckoned with. And every single piece of you, even the ones you hate, even the ones you wish you could erase, are part of what makes you unstoppable. But here's the thing. They don't want you to see that. The world doesn't want you to realize how powerful you are. Because once you do, once you break free from the lies and step into the truth, they can't control you anymore. They can't keep you down. And that scares the hell out of them. Because people like you, people who've been through the fire and come out the other side, you're dangerous. You're the ones who change everything. The ones who refuse to accept the world as it is and start shaping it into something better. And the world? Oh, it hates that. It fears that. But it can't stop it. It can't stop you. So here's the choice you've got to make. You can stay where you are, in the darkness, letting it control you, letting it define you. Or you can step into the truth. You can face the pain, own it, use it, and let it transform you into the person you were always meant to be. The person the world doesn't want you to be because it knows it can't handle you. But let me warn you, it's not going to be easy. The darkness isn't just going to let you go. It's going to fight you every step of the way. It's going to try to pull you back, whispering its lies, playing its tricks, doing everything it can to keep you in its grip. But you're stronger than it. You've already proven that by surviving this long. And when you fight back, when you push through, when you finally break free, you'll look back at this moment and realize it was the turning point. The moment you stopped being a victim and started being a warrior. The moment you stopped surviving and started living. So what's it gonna be? Are you going to let the darkness win? Or are you going to show it just how wrong it was to ever think it could break you? Because you're not just fighting for survival anymore. You're fighting for your life, for your future, for the person you're meant to become. And that person? Oh, they're going to be unstoppable. So rise, fight, and show the world what happens when someone like you decides they've had enough. Because you're not done yet, not by a long shot. And the world, it hasn't seen anything yet.